Welcome to All Pro Football Data. My name is Jim Coburn, and today's episode we're going to be talking about Audric Estime, running back from Notre Dame. We're going to be talking about his production profile. A couple things to note. Audric means old wise ruler in French, German, and British areas. And I know I've said estime in the past, but it's esteem, like esteem. And in French, esteem means the admiration and respect you feel towards another person, or esteem. He's held in high esteem. So Audric is an old wise ruler who's held in high esteem. Get it? Anyways, let's get to his production profile. Starting with offensive market share scores. This is a raw statistic gathered from a school website or college football reference. The raw statistics are then transformed into a market share score by taking an individual statistic and dividing it by the team total statistics. So if a running back had 10 touchdowns and the team had 40 touchdowns that year, he would have 25% market share. What you do is you take that number and you transform it by ranking it against positional peers to get a percentile score, and that score is weighted against the age score of a prospect, which gives you the offensive market share score. Why is this important, if you will? Well, it's important because most running backs in the past have been really productive. So looking at the All-Pro averages and the Pro Bowl averages and starter averages at the position, 90 plus percentile is what you expect in terms of offensive market share for an all-pro player. In terms of passing yardage or the receiving market share production score, 62 percentiles with the averages for that particular metric. And then the touchdown market share score is in the 90 percentile in terms of that area. So where did Audric test? Well, he tested in a decent area. He had 80 percentile in terms of his total offensive market share production score. His one weakness is his receiving yardage market share, which was only 49, and he had an 82.55 in terms of his touchdown market share, which is good, not great, but decent overall score. Those are pretty good marks. And this particular data set, just so you guys know, is out of 2,312 running backs since the 1969 NFL draft class in this particular data set. Moving on to running back efficiency scores. Efficiency scores, you take raw statistics from a school website or college football reference. The raw statistics are then ranked against positional peers to get a percentile score, and that score is weighted against the age score of a prospect. So touchdown percentage is the number of touches divided by total touchdowns, which shows how often they got touchdowns per touch, which gives you the offensive efficiency scores. In terms of his efficiency scores, Audric Estime, he was okay. When you look at the All-Pro averages and the Pro Bowl averages, he's kind of within range in terms of the thresholds. The biggest issue he has is his RRAV, which is yards per reception. That is the biggest issue that he has in terms of that particular metric because he just didn't really catch the football that much out of the backfield. And the little that he did catch, he was not particularly very effective. Or I should say he was just average in terms of when the ball got into his hands on a reception, he was just average, statistically speaking. And then, of course, when you get to the adjusted production scores, so the adjusted production scores takes into account things like age, strength of schedule, strength of team. The age of a prospect is scored from youngest to oldest on the day they are drafted. That score is then measured against the strength of schedule and strength of team, which is the SRS, which is strength of team. SOS is strength of schedule. Those scores are then ranked to get the MSA score, which stands for market share, strength of schedule, strength of team, and age score. And then the pass score, which is an even bigger number that includes more things into it, adds the running back market share scores, the efficiency scores, age, strength of schedule, strength of team scores all together, which give you these adjusted production scores. And what they do is they add context to the data. How productive was this player for his age? How productive was this player for his level of competition that he faced? How great was this running back based on his team? How good was his team that he was on? These are things that you have to know. These are things that add context to those particular numbers. When you look at his adjusted production scores, Audric is held in high esteem. 90 plus percentile in terms of his age score. Did really well also in terms of his MSA score, in terms of the 80 percentile, and his pass score was in the 90 plus percentile. All those numbers are within range of Pro Bowl potential and starter potential in many ways. So, good all around score for him. Now, in terms of his comparisons, when I went back in the data, I looked at running backs who had a similar production profile based on the three big things: total offensive market share, receiving market share, and touchdown market share. Audric tested with these types of running backs: Bobby Anderson, Jeremy Hill, Stephen Davis, Jonathan Stewart, Darius Geis, Kajana Carter, Samaje Perine, John Riggins, and Jordan Howard. Running backs that were very good at running the football, didn't quite catch many passes out of the backfield, did get it done in terms of touchdowns. And of course, you can see the ages of these prospects on the right-hand side in terms of that kind of perspective. But this just gives you the kind of idea of the style of player that Estime was. He wasn't catching the football out of the backfield and getting big runs, if you will. He was more so every down back, goal line situations. He was a running back. That's what he was. He wasn't terrible in terms of his ability to catch football out of the backfield, but he also was not exceptional either. And that's kind of the biggest concern with him. So, in terms of the outlook for him, the outlook for Audric is he profiles as a potential Pro Bowl to long-term starter based on his data. The biggest red flag in his data comes down to his receiving market share, which again was average, but you typically want running backs to be above average in that particular metric. In other words, he's not going to be Marshall Faulk. That's not in the cards for him. There's nothing wrong with that, but he's not going to be that type of player, and some teams are not going to like that. Some teams may have him off their board due to this flaw, while others will covet his ability to finish in the red zone. It will all depend on the type of team that he falls to. Most running backs who have this profile tend to thrive in committee systems where they are not relied on to be a pass catcher. So that is what you're kind of looking at with him. He could go to a team, and this is for fantasy purposes, guys. This is really important in terms of fantasy purposes. Is he could go to a team and he'll be the primary back and get all the yardage and all the goal line sort of things. And he also could go to a team where they never really put him on the football field because they don't like the fact that he can't really catch the football out of the backfield very efficiently. These are the biggest question marks with him. These are the biggest issues with him. But I still like him. In this particular draft class, he would be the top back, realistically speaking. If he doesn't botch the combine, if he tests well as an athlete, he would be the top running back in this particular draft class. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with him. I think he could be a starting NFL running back. I think he has all the tools. His production is decent from that kind of perspective. Is he a guy that I take in day one? Probably not. He's not a day one running back based on his overall profile. Day two, I'd feel good about it. Day three, I feel really good about it in day three, baby. But that's kind of where I'm at with him as a prospect. I really like those aspects to his game. He's the top running back in this particular draft class, but this is also a very weak prospect. And again, he's a top running back in terms of his production, those other sort of things. Athleticism also is a factor to kind of look at with him, and we'll see what those numbers are when we get there. But overall, that is his profile. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name is Jim Coburn. You can follow my work at Geometrics on Twitter, which is at JIMTRICS. You can also check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/jcoburn, to get more information about prospects and learn more about how I do the things that I do in many ways. And again, guys, thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace!